The 22nd episode of the first series, Thomas in Trouble, is based on the story of the same name from the Railway series book, Toby the Tram Engine. This is an episode that continues from the events of the previous episode, but in a way it also takes place during halfway through the previous episode as well. Well, you'll understand when I tell you the story. One day, Thomas is leaving the quarry at the end of his branch line with some trucks and his coaches Annie and Campbell. The rails here run alongside a road, so Thomas is always careful at this point in his run to whistle in case anyone's coming his way. On this particular day, Thomas sees a new policeman by the crossing, and having been friends with the previous constable who had just retired, he whistles to him in greeting. Unfortunately, the policeman is not in the mood to be friendly. The policeman first complains about engines whistling, stating that he did not get any sleep the night before, and then tells Thomas that he is breaking the law by not having any cow catchers or side plates. Thomas's driver protests that they have been along the road many times before without accident, but the policeman retorts that this implicates them further, and bans Thomas as a regular lawbreaker in his notebook. Thomas then continues sadly back to the station. In his dining room, the Fat Controller is having breakfast with his wife when he receives a phone call about Thomas's incident with the police. He rushes to the junction where Thomas's driver explained what has happened. They both try to reason with the policeman, but he refuses to give in, insisting that the law must be upheld. The Fat Controller soon gives up and concedes that they will have to make cow catchers for Thomas. Thomas is distressed by this, worrying that people will say that he looks like a tram. This comment reminds the Fat Controller of Toby, the tram engine he met while on holiday. Knowing Toby's line has lost its business to buses and lorries, the Fat Controller writes a letter to his controller asking if he can be sent to Sodor. A few days later, Toby arrives and is greeted by the Fat Controller, who notices that he's brought Henrietta with him and allows her to stay as well. Toby proves to be exceptional at handling trucks. Although Thomas is jealous at first, they became good friends when Toby uses his bell to frighten the policeman. This was the first time we got to see an actual police officer within the TV series. Well, okay, he did make a cameo in Thomas's train, but this was the first time we actually got to see him as a character, interacting with other characters. And I love Ringo Starr's portrayal of this character. Just a low, booming voice, which sounds very nasty and gruff. I especially love this little comment when he's asking Thomas where his cow catchers are.
The policeman pointed to Thomas. "Where's your cow catcher?" he asked. "But I don't catch cows, sir." "Don't be funny," snapped the policeman.
That cracks me up every time. And it's worth pointing out that this telephone conversation the Fat Controller has is actually an already recorded line from the episode. If you listen very carefully, it's this line that comes a few seconds afterwards.
But however much he argued with him, it was no good. "The law is the law," he said, "and we can't change it." The Fat Controller felt exhausted.
This was proven by many fans over the years on YouTube as they used their movie makers to slow down the footage when the Fat Controller was on the telephone. And it's just proven to be that line that comes later on in the episode. And it would later on be reused for another episode in the series. And I love how the constable reacts to Toby ringing his bell at him near the end of the episode. I just love that reaction. Maybe it's just me not being aware of it, but how has this not become a meme yet? I don't know, maybe it has, and probably I just need to do better research. This was a lovely, fun episode for the TV series, and it's the first time we get to see a policeman in full action as well.
Hurrah for the filth! The pigs, the knocks. Oh damn, I'm sleep slanging again.
It's an episode that I didn't get to watch a lot of back when I was a kid because I never owned it on VHS tapes. The times when I could see it was when I rented a videotape with the episode on it from Blockbusters. But having the DVD years later, it's nice to look back at this episode. A lovely episode that I missed out on a lot when I was a kid. But I'm really glad that I have full access to it later on in my adult years. And this is an episode that I would definitely recommend checking out if you haven't watched it in a while. It's a nice little episode that brings in Toby as a permanent resident of Sodor, and it's just really fun to watch in my opinion. Especially when you hear this line over and over again.
"Don't be funny."
How the hell can you not crack up at this? It's hilarious. But watch the episode for yourself and come to your own conclusions.
Hurrah for the filth! The pigs, the knocks. Oh damn, I'm sleep slanging again.